We ain't good, but we still good. Vito, baby. Usually, you know I never double back. And you're probably somewhere happy, getting your life on track. Yeah. But when something's good, it's good, baby, that's a fact. Girl, I still have you on my mind, and I must confess, ooh-wee, can't nobody do my body like you do me. Girl, every time that I went down, I made it juicy. You did what you did, I did what I did. But every time we linked back up, it was a movie, yeah. Right one, wrong time. But I'd be lying if I said we didn't have a time. Ooh, it body some pressure. And though we ain't together, I want you to know that I can still pull up. And I hate that we didn't make it to forever. Probably ain't getting back together. But that don't mean that I can wish you better. We ain't good, but we still good. I realize that I can be your lover. Let's just keep it honest with each other. I'll be happy for you when you find another. We ain't good, but we still good. It's obvious, girl, that circumstances change. You got a man, I got a girl, all the same. I'm not trying to come and overtake your lane, but the fact you text me back, it says you're entertained. Ooh, yeah, I've been trying to run into you since you moved here. And if you got time, just hit my line as soon as the coast clear. I did what I did, you did what you did. No, none of that shit matter, try it again. Started as friends, girl, you had the right one, wrong time. But I'd be lying if I said we didn't have a time. Ooh, it body some pressure. And though we ain't together, I want you to know that I'm trying to pull up. And I hate that we didn't make it to forever. Probably ain't getting back together. But that don't mean that I can wish you better. We ain't good, but we still good.
Just like to say good morning to everybody out there. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, in the North.
I realize that I can't be your lover. Let's just keep it honest with each other. I'll be happy for you when you find another. We ain't good, but we still good.
We ain't good, but we still good, huh? Like I said, early in the morning, the weatherman said everything's going to be A-O-O-K. You know what I mean? We're going to get through this. Going to have a good show this morning. And go sit back and relax and enjoy this one. How to keep the black family strong.
Vito, baby. Something about your hands on my body feels better than any woman I've ever been with. Something about the way you just kiss me. I get nervous when it's my time to speak, so I just listen. You got a hold on my soul. Can I make you my wife? Oh, yeah. Just say yes. I can't keep composed. I don't know how you came into my life.
Welcome to the Rock Newman Show. It's the Rock Newman Show.
The first thing we have to do to shake off our ancestral slave history is get a white man back his God. And we refuse to do that. We need to give him back his name.
God,
we refuse to do that. We think these things are not important, but they didn't do anything to us that wasn't important.
I'm speaking life into you. Maybe I need you the way that I see you. Only God can do that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, maybe God sent you. No. Yeah. Gotta take care of my blessing. God is my witness, you're destined, babe. I'll be here to protect your love with everything. Wedding rings, seeing you carry my child, I couldn't be more proud. There's nothing you can't do, and I'll stand beside you, cause you got a hold on my soul. Can I make you my wife, babe? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. I can't keep composed. I don't know how you came into my life, baby. Maybe God sent you, and I'm thankful. I'm speaking life into you. Thank you, God. I see you, I believe you, I'm living through you. Thank you for my wife. Yeah.
Everything was designed to rob us of ourselves and make them the people that are the best. When actually, you are the best. We have the best man on the planet. Everybody want our man but us. And that's what it was designed to do.
Greetings, beloved, and thank you so very much for deciding to take a moment and to join the Rock Newman Show 2.0 today. I have a guest today that my producer Avis and I have been wanting to have on for a very long time. We look at the strife that is rampant throughout our community and so many of the dysfunctional relationships that are happening between mother and son, husband and wife, and so on and so forth. And for decades now, our guest, Shahrazad Ali, has been speaking to these issues. Oftentimes, what she has communicated has been very controversial. She stays rooted in her beliefs that she's been sharing for a very long time. Ms. Ali, it is my pleasure to host you today and to have you as a guest on the Rock Newman Show 2.0.
Well, I'm so honored, and I thank you very much for inviting me. I have seen your show too for a long time, seen different people on there, and I wasn't sure if you just had men, so I didn't ever approach you about it. I said, well, I'll just wait. They'll get around to me, and then you did.
Man, oh man. And I'm telling you, getting around to you and having to get a yes from you was indeed exciting. You know, I've got notes all over my desk, text messages from Avis about potential places to go, but I'm going to take the risk to go to something that some folks might look in and say, oh my God, you're starting at a very morbid place. But let's just start here and we can unpack it all. I heard you making the comment about seeing someone very close to you suffer before they died. And you made the comment and wrote a piece saying you want to own your own death. Would you please elaborate on that?
Well, like every other culture, when we were forced to come here, when they, enslaved us and drug us over here, we already had our own systems of politics, child rearing, life, death, food, clothes. We already had those ideas, and we had already systems that we were practicing. And one of the things that has never been challenged here is how we die. Now, we know the police kill us. We know that our open enemy kill us, but we have not ever discussed how do we want to die? How should we die? And things like that. The Indians, they had their processes, but of course we weren't allowed to pick it up or anything. And so when I say I want to own my own death, I mean I want to decide if it's at the end and I no longer have a quality of life. And I'm a type A personality, so I don't want nobody changing no diapers and, doing all of those things. I want to decide how I want to die. And if it's by medication and go to sleep, that's painless, then I might want to do that. But I think we should have a choice instead of being forced to drag out, spend all that money, let all of the white-owned hospitals make millions and billions of dollars off of our dying process when we get to the end and we know we're no longer useful. We're just a burden on our families and our children and grandchildren. Then we need to just go on and end this and let that be the end of our story and leave our legacy intact instead of leaving our last memory, one of us curled up in the bed, not knowing anybody, and losing control of our bodily functions. I don't want that. I'm not going to have that.
I've been told by folks that advise me on how I can be a better talk show host is to remain neutral. Just call balls and strikes. Remain neutral. Not necessarily to give my opinion, but to me, what you just expressed makes all the sense in the world. I'll take it just beyond that. I want to get your thoughts on this. I hadn't thought to. Ask this question, but I just want to take it to that next step. Where are you in terms of cremation versus a burial at a cemetery?
We're going to have to go to cremation a lot of, because we've already tested that if you die, you're going to come back. And if we came back, there's no room for everyone. And it's very expensive. People put $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in the ground trying to honor somebody who's not even aware of what's going on. And I don't think that that's a good idea either. I think that like a person like myself who does not believe in life after death, okay? Not a physical life. And so it's a real test for those of us who say we believe that to say, well, I'd rather just be cremated. Here's the thing. If you heat the human body to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and put a little Clorox or something in it, the body turns into mineral oil. So I had someone ask me, do you think we're already eating people? I say, well, we may not be eating them, but we certainly are rubbing them on our body and cosmetics because mineral oil is used in everything. It's like soybean oil. Right. And so we know that there are some other uses for the human body for that flesh than just putting it in the ground to rot and turn back into dirt anyway, back into the earth. And so I think that cremation is a good solution. And the way they do cremation these days, let me tell you, is that they leave you in the locker for 2 or 3 weeks to make sure you are really dead, even if you don't have a heartbeat. They leave you in there to make sure that you're not going to come back alive. Back in the olden days, they would put a bell on the casket so that if you did come back alive, you would ring the bell and they dig you up. But see, we don't have that. So, but no, I think that that's going to be the best way. It's too many people. Not that the earth is overcrowded. You know, everybody in America could live in Texas if we had to. So there's plenty of room here, but that's just a waste of useful land to keep burying people. And now a lot of cemeteries are burying people on top of each other, putting 2 and 3 caskets in the ground because there's no space. The people are dying quicker than they're being born because of abortion and so forth. And so we just need to just get a system for that, stop paying all that money, and be done with it.
2 questions and 2 what I deem to be some very, very practical and useful answers. You know, I think that in interviewing you, talking to you, sharing with you, we inevitably, it's an easy slide into controversy in terms of things that you have said, wisdom that you have imparted. And so I want to ask this. It's an open-ended question, and I already know it could be answered so many different ways, but I just want to get your thought, because I witnessed something within the last 2 days that made me say, I'm gonna talk to Ms. Ali about this. I saw a man and a woman. Matter of fact, I was at their home, and they got in a little spat, and it energized quickly, and they were at each other's throat. You know, those times when you want to just kind of disappear and be at, you know, just falling in a hole or something. And I mean, they were really at each other's throat. Well, if you do this, I'll do this. Well, you want to do that, I'll do this. And she ultimately left and slammed the door. I thought the walls were going to fall down. Well, nothing was resolved. There was no agreement. I didn't know what was going to happen. I tried to make it as quick and a dignified, hasty retreat as I could. Yeah. So I left. Haven't talked to him since. It made me think. That happens in life, where there is a disagreement. Man, woman, get married, a whole lot of disagreements. But in that circumstance, what do you think should happen and how it should? Should one have the final say? I looked at that and I was like, I kind of saw both points, but the 2 points were polar opposites. And I'm like, okay, now what's going to happen?
It's unfortunate that it has grown to be like that. Most of us don't realize that in the studies that I have done, we learn how to argue and disagree with our mate in the home. A lot of times it's what we see and how we see our parents fight. If they fight in the ring and just deal with the subject, if they have enough self-control to control themselves and tell the guest leaves and talk about it later when they're alone, or if we have actually 2 women arguing, the men arguing like a woman and the woman arguing like a woman. Because a lot of times we fuss at our men so long, and in order to try to defend themselves, they start talking like us. And then that's right down our alley, because then we can really let it go then, and we both, can fuss, and it sounds like 2 women arguing as opposed to a man and a woman. And so we have to learn how to fight in the ring. When I say fight in the ring, I mean, if we are arguing about you didn't take the trash out, and I tell you every day to take the trash out, and we keep going over to that, well, there's no point in me saying that's why your mama ain't got no teeth. You understand? You don't jump into something else trying to fight if we're talking about this subject. It's called staying on message. Stay on your point.
Staying on message, and the truth of the matter is, they both threw some mud, but she really went back in time and
right. That's what I'm talking about. Right. You know, so we do that, and you know, and so we have to just look at that most of us, because we argue, we're not going to break up. Most of us have unresolved issues, and we bring them up in every fight, those same issues. We're not going to solve that. And I always jokingly say that you never really know that you're in love until you look over to your mate and think, I could kill him, you know, and then
Testing one, 2, 3. Are you ready?
And then you don't. and then you resist. I get it. I get it.
Right. But we do that. And as I said, we learn that in the home. Now, the fact that we had the 2-parent home, the 1-parent home, well, now we have the no-parent home. And so you're talking about children and young people now raising themselves, and they're learning how to quarrel and argue with each other, either from the streets or from the videos that are violent, from the rap videos and things like that. And we can't say that those things don't have an impact on our behavior, because you have never seen one commercial. The commercials run all day. Repeat means everything. And after we start bullying that into our heads, allowing our children to listen, go to sleep with earphones in their ear and listening to a lot of nonsense around the clock. They'll fight you about their cell phones and different things because, they have created, the manufacturers have made it addictive for us. And we have addictive personalities because we don't have no self. And that's another reason I want to add that we turn into another person in a movie. When we play a person and do a biopic, we actually turn into them because we're an empty vessel. We can put anything in there. We can be anybody. We can be anything.
You say we do that because we have no self.
Yeah.
Whew. That's deep.
Well,
I have a list of questions, but I'm going to ask you to expound on that. We have no self.
Well, there's an example. Right now, due to this border crisis thing that they're talking about, and the immigrants invading the country and so forth, we got 195 nations of different people coming in here. These people, most of them, the majority of them, have not been enslaved. So they have their own culture, knowledge of their culture, how they dress, as I said, how they eat, how they raise their children, what their politics are, what their religious beliefs are, how they decorate their homes, how they handle outside of their homes, their hygiene habits, their sanitation. They have already these ideas. And so when they come here, they will set up their ideas and start to live that way. We're going to start to smell all kinds of different foods on the street. We're going to see all kinds of children dressed in clothes. They're not wearing Louis Vuitton. They're not concerned about plaids and stripes together. They don't have any of that nonsense that we have been taught here. As a result of them erasing our history, essentially, we have adopted things from all over the place. We have mixed up different African fabrics and hats and so forth together because we don't know which one is which. We came here from different tribes. You can see the different shapes of our noses. You can see people wear their hair different ways. You can see black people with different kind of jewelry on. Those are different tribes. These are different people that's embedded in us, but we don't know how to express it because we don't have the history. They beat our history out of us. And so now the things we do, we think it's our choice. We have tried to normalize our captivity and act like that we're not living in a hostile environment and that integration solved all our problems. And so therefore, everything we do now is by choice, but it isn't. And I do have a book called Are You Still a Slave? It's a test book. It lets you take a test, a couple of tests, and find out how much of a slave are you still acting like, even without a slave master.
You mentioned that book, and it was probably I should have talked about your past more in terms of the things that you've done and the impact that you have made. You don't just have that book, you have several books, and I want to touch on them. And I want to suggest to our viewers, pay close attention to what I'm getting ready to say, and that if you find yourself engaged in the reading and the understanding of some of the wisdom that are contained within what Miss Ali, Shahrazad Ali, has imparted, I think it'll make your life a little better.
Oh, it'll change your life.
Here's some of the books: The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, and The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Mind. And you say in the one, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, read it before she does. Why you say that?
Listen, I don't have to tell you, that got me in a lot of trouble too, okay? Well, because one of the reasons I wrote the book is because you all have been so naive about our behavior and motivations and our expressions and the double meanings of some of the things we do. You all have just been in the blind for many, many years. And I wanted to level that playing field because we have studied you all intently. We know what to say to make you happy. We know what to say to make you insanely mad. We know more about you than you know about us. We not only know more about you, we've told everybody else about you. The Black woman is the only woman in America who goes out publicly and talks about her man. We don't know what the Chinese man do. We don't know what he does, how he act in the house, how he deal with this shit. We don't know that. We don't know what the Arabs do. It's a lot of people here. We don't know what those men do. The Latinos, we don't know what they do, but everybody know what y'all do because we told them.
Man, so you are suggesting that a mate in the Black community, a woman, that is culturally specific to the Black community, that by and large, she is the only one that goes out and kicks the Black man.
Kinda, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And it has made you more vulnerable to a lot of other criticism from other people because the only way they know about you is through us because you all not telling them.
Just want everyone to put on your thinking caps this morning.
We tell them. And I wanted, as you asked about the book, I wanted to level that playing field and let you all know more of what's going on. Now, some of it has backfired. You know, the book did produce Kevin Samuels, you know, my boy, and he's my spiritual son, I call him. And, you know, he came out and took it a step further. I tried to, what I consider was gently tell people about our situation and to stop us from controlling you all with not only insults, but with sex. You know, there have been a lot of things we have been able to manipulate our men with just based on those things. Plus, we convince you to tell us your secrets, and then the first time we get mad, then we go and tell them. We'll tell the police, we'll tell your mama, we'll tell your children, we'll tell anybody. And so I'm trying to get us to stop practicing that, to pull that back. And if we speak a good word for our men, that if we defend you publicly, like they defend their men. If the white woman have a husband and he go out and he kill 10 people, when they go to court, she holding his arm and they go in there together and she sit there with him, and then they go home and the children are there and they do everything. When you all tend to do different things, we not only abandon you, then we tell everything else bad that we know about you. And that's not the way to build a nation. It's not the way to repair the man that the white man has destroyed.
Man, I do not in any stretch of the imagination want anyone to think that I come here today with any type of an agenda to bash black women. We come for.
Oh no.
We come for.
I'm a black woman. I got black granddaughters. I
Yeah.
got black children, black girls and children.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to bash
Yeah,
us,
no.
but we can't have a better man till we have a better woman.
Okay. And to that end, I had a question that dovetails to some of what you were talking about there. And the quote was from you: women overvalue themselves because they control sex.
Yeah.
Can you expound on that?
Well, we have a new type of young woman today. And that type of young woman believes that she does not have to have any other qualifications to mate with a man other than bring sex. And they have some kind of ridiculous idea that a man is supposed to house, feed, and clothe them and their children, buy them anything they want, give them money, and pay their bills, as they say, and do everything for them. And all they're going to bring to the table is their vagina. And so that makes it very difficult, and it confuses our men, because nature made you to be attracted to us to procreate and made us to be attracted to you. We are not independently here. The egg in us would lay there forever if the man didn't fertilize the egg. The life comes from the sperm. It don't come from the egg. And so we feel that since we carry the baby, it's put in us, that gives us a greater power, because we can reproduce you, but we can't reproduce you without you. So it's lopsided on that end too. But we have used sex because that's what we were taught in our ancestral slave history. That was our only value. That was the only thing we had to negotiate with. And we have come full circle, that we have produced a generation of young women who believe that their only value is sex. So we have put your total focus and mind just on sex, because that gives us a captive audience for whatever that period of time is, where you are focused just on us and not on the other life issues that you need in order to survive and protect your family and build wealth for yourself.
Okay, let's stay there. Let's stay there for a moment, because, I've intentionally tried to prepare for this and, get your thoughts, understand your statements. And one of them was that you made a comment about the value of having face-to-face sex, as opposed to what I think you characterized as some other deviant alternatives. And I'm going to tell you something. That captured my attention because I have some folks that are distant family members. And it is females that I'm talking about. And I see some of the stuff that they say publicly via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever,
Oh yeah.
whatever it is. And their willingness to share publicly what seems to me would be stuff, and I ain't nobody's Pollyanna, but seems to be just vulgar,
Yes.
rash. And their willingness to talk about it publicly.
That's all they talk about.
So you mentioned face-to-face sex versus the alternatives, and I'd like for you to say more about that here.
Well, I knew that there was something going on. See, each generation has their own trends of how they do, how they dress, how they have sex. You know, whatever the trend is for that particular generation, that's what they express and that's what they put out front and talk about. So I started talking to the young women, and I said, what is this about that when you all are being intimate, you want to be choked, you want men to spit in your mouth, and you all knocking the women's back out and getting yourself injured and all kind of things. I said, what is that? I said, that sounds to me like hostility. You know, we used to call that making love. You all not making no love, you making hate. I said, what is that about? And one of the young women, a college student, said to me, well, yeah, I like to be choked sometimes. Now, this is a huge leap to decide that sex, which was designed to be pleasurable to procreate, is now being used as a hostile, almost a fighting motion to being choked. How is that connected to pleasure? And I asked her that. I said, well, how did that feel good? What are you talking about? She said, well, you know, you just like it sometimes. I want to be slapped. Yeah, it's all right. And these are so-called intelligent women. You're upward bound. I'm not talking about just somebody I found on the street. And when I listened to them, I recognized how crazy it was. So I looked into it further. And I came up on the information that humans are the only mammals that mate face to face. All of the other animals, it don't matter who it is. Yeah. And so they have taken sex and turned it into something that we wouldn't even define as sex. Now, I've been out here since 1985. That's more than most people, the young people I talk to, they weren't even born. And so they don't have certain foundational information that maybe we grew up with about the word normal or routine or basic. They don't understand those tactics. They have come up with other things. And because they don't have any cultural information to tie them to their own people or their own tribe, they're just making it up as they go, and they're getting suggestions from their music, they're getting suggestions from their movies, and they're getting it from just whatever their basic instincts are. And so this has created, they acting like animals. That ain't no sex. You know, all of our music was a, baby, I miss you. In the 60s, I love you. I want to be back with you. Come and we need to be together. Well, that music is that I'm going to knock your back out. Come over here and spit in my mouth. And crazy stuff that we would consider just absurd. And how does that get connected to sex? It may be something to do, but I don't think it's sexual. I think they got some other ideas that maybe haven't even been revealed yet. And so I'm sorry that that's like that, because it has robbed them of some understanding of things. But when you reject certain truths, you have nothing left but lust.
Man, that's troubling. That's troubling. Let me ask you, one of your books, How to Tell If Your Man Is Gay or Bi. Don't answer yet, because what I want to say is give an opportunity for you to tell my viewers how they can get in touch with you, how they might be able to get some of the materials that you have, some of the books that you've written, some of your, just how can folks study Shahrazad Ali?
Well, part of the problems that I have had, brother, is that I'm sometimes before my time. Okay? When I came up, people can't believe that I wrote The Black Man's Guide. It was back in 1990, because it's so relevant to the day. And people are always amazed at that. They say, I can't believe it. It's like you live in the house with me. I said, no, but we all different. We're not different. We are all the same. We think we're different. And we try to pretend we're different by our clothes and our education. But we are not different, because we all have the same ancestral slave history, which put certain things in us that we haven't been able to shake off, because the first thing we have to do to shake off our ancestral slave history is get a white man back his God. And we refuse to do that. We need to give him back his name. We refuse to do that. We think these things are not important, but they didn't do anything to us that wasn't important. Everything was designed to rob us of ourselves and make them the people that are the best, when actually you are the best. We have the best man on the planet. Everybody want our man but us. And that's what it was designed to do, all of the things that have been put in us. But it's very difficult now, because we function almost as enemies. We don't function as helpmates. If a man asks a woman these days to prepare a meal, many of our women tell them, I ain't your mama. But they didn't stop eating when they was just with their mother. Food is what sustains life. We don't even teach cooking anymore. Our women don't know how to prepare a meal, how to actually cook with food. And so that's a problem, because that's a problem for your health as Black men and our children. Because what you eat generally determines what your health is going to be for the next 20, 30, or 40 years. It's what you put in your body. So preparing food is very important. But that's something that also has been kicked to the curb. We don't have people to do that. If you want to cook today, you got to go to cooking school, because you're not going to learn it at home. So anyway, but back what you were saying, it's just so many things. And I want to get different things out there, because as you said, these books are life-changing. And anything that you read in them will help you change your life. It's not going to help me change mine.
So let our viewers know now, and I want to do this again, because I think it's important, how folks can get in touch.
Well, you have my QR code. Yeah, you have my QR code. Yeah. And you have my Cash App code for those that say they really love me. And you have my email. I'm at Sister Shahrazad Ali at yahoo.com. But I don't really have to talk to everybody. I cannot talk to thousands of people a month. And everybody got a question that I don't have time. I'll starve to death, But anyway, you can reach me there. And then I have a lot of other videos that people have taken and put on YouTube and Instagram, and just taking snippets and clips and things. But that, my books are available on Amazon and eBay. I stopped trying to do the Facebook and all of that, because it just went so crazy, and people would hack it every other week. But that's how you can.
I don't want this to sound like the end of the interview, because it's not. But Sister has books. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman.
You can't tell them.
The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. Are you still a slave? How to tell if your man is gay. Things parents should have told you. Folks, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and get some of this material. Now, I'm gonna leave that there. Now, we were down, and you were talking about what women aren't doing, and I went to where it says how to tell if your man is gay or bi.
Well, I had to stop production on that. I don't release that anymore because you know how the gay community is, and I didn't want that book to define me.
Yeah.
And they were jumping on that, and they were going crazy, and we were going through a lot. But that's a very important issue because so many now, we have young people who don't consider it being gay if a man has sex in the rectum with another man. They don't consider it being gay if a woman has sex with another woman. They'll go with a man one week and a woman the next week. So they have changed a lot of the mores of how you maintain a civilized society. And so I wanted to back out of that very gently. And so the book, How to Tell If Your Man is Gay or Bisexual, it was wonderful, but I don't print that anymore because I have other important issues. That's not what my legacy is. My legacy is trying to get us back together to have a better child and a better future.
If you would address what is so prevalent, and that is the black man's propensity, especially notable, high-profile, wealthy celebrities, athletes, politicians, black politicians, male politician, born a man, their propensity to be so desirous of either very light-skinned women and more desirable to them, it seems, the women. Now, I had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the studio to interview him. I was really excited about it. I had one talk about his history. I've been a fan like forever.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I wanted to ask him was what he thought. He tends to be a cerebral guy. What he thought about the issue of Sidney Poitier, Belafonte, and so many other black folks, Hollywood celebrity, and as I said, politicians and the rest, why they choose white women. I wanted his explanation because he was one of them. He was one of them. And so I want to ask you what your thoughts are.
Well, it's a long history of desire. When your enemy is so big and you can't seem to win over him physically,
We ain't good